Engineers of Reddit, what's the most ridiculous idiot proofing you've had to add in your never-ending quest to combat stupid people? I was asked to make a hydraulic oil pump nozzle, drink-proof. That's a fool's errand. The best you can hope for is drink-resistant. A paragraph in an owner's manual on not eating the broken glass from binoculars. But it pairs so well with paint chips. Chemical engineer. Please do not shit in the test room. I wish I was joking, but it happened. My cousin is a chemical engineer. For weeks they had contaminants in their product. I forget exactly what fixes they tried, but they eventually found out via security cams that one of the night shift maintenance workers was pissing into one of the chemical vats. I work in facilities maintenance. Someone put in a ticket for a malfunctioned computer on wheels. Web links and I found the power cord was frayed. Not my gear, so all I can really do is set it aside and have the biomed techs fix it. I put a zip tie through the holes in the prongs of the plug, put 2 nitrile glove on the plug, zip tied the gloves in place, and wrapped up the gloves with duct tape. I got a sheet of printer paper and wrote, "Inoperative. Do not use. Do not plug in," and taped it to the monitor. Couple hours later I get a ticket for another cow with frayed power cord sparking. It turned out to be the same cart, and one of the nurses cut the end of the gloves off, cut the zip tie in the end of the plug, and plugged it in, and it arced and tripped a breaker because of the frayed power cord. I work on cars, so almost everything is designed around protecting people. My favorite is that we have to make the HVAC system louder and engine noise insulation worse because people will complain if they can't hear the systems running. We could make almost silent air ducts, but our warranty spend would go up. We had a pedestrian bridge next to a bridge for vehicles, separated by about a 3-foot gap. The bridges were about 20 feet high over the water. So many drunk pedestrians climbed over the rails and tried to jump between bridges and didn't make it that I was directed to design a safety net to hang between the 2 bridges. I work remodeling small businesses. Our niche is we keep the business running while doing the remodel. I've caught people climbing over fences, ducking under moving heavy machinery, broke into locked doors, all to act surprised when we tell them this area is off limits and point to one of the 10 signs we posted. I clean up crime scenes. I've had people duck under police tape lines, open the zipper on poly sheeting containment, walk through blood and brain spatter, and walk up to a tech wearing a Tyvek suit, gloves, rubber boots, and a full-face cartridge respirator to see what's going on. I'm a mechie intern. I walked in on my manager discussing a design with another engineer. All I heard was, "So the guys will probably use that as a hammer, so I made it out of this stronger material. When they're working they will probably be throwing this small door open, so I used stronger hinges and added a stop." It's things like this that I really appreciate about my internship. I likely wouldn't have thought about that myself. Wife is a civil engineer. The one that came to mind for her was that she had to add to the specification of a construction contract that stated that workers would not drink the water that accumulated at the bottom of an excavation. I have one customer that takes our product, removes the battery packs, and solders them in backwards. He cuts the wires to the batteries, then solders red to black, and black to red. Then calls us complaining that they don't work. There is no idiot proofing that I can think of at this point. I pretty much just admit defeat now. Application engineer here. When handling a 3D laser scanner, it has to be placed and fixed on a stable tripod. A flat rail of a balcony is not a suitable substitute for it. And no, the insurance has not covered the total loss of the device after it fell from the 5th floor to the concrete pavement. Took the physical disable Wi-Fi button off laptops. Clearly marked, but people would still flip it and wonder why their Wi-Fi went off. I used superglue to jam one user's switch in the on position since he could not follow instructions regarding not touching the switch. He complained that he could no longer turn Wi-Fi off to my boss. Boss came to me and said why. I showed him the 2 or 3 tickets a week for Wi-Fi not connecting from that one user. Boss noticed all the other similar tickets and said, "Superglue all of them." Engineering coworker always told the story of when he used to work support at one of the leading electronic lab equipment, e.g., oscilloscopes companies. Engineers would call or email when a piece of hardware stopped working, and the initial support advice was to ask the engineer to check the polarity on the power cable, just in case it was plugged in incorrectly. Years ago I worked as a building engineer, glorified maintenance man, for an office building that had endless complaints about the AC heater not working. The staff in the office would adjust the thermostat up and down all day, and then everyone else would complain it was too hot or too cold. It did not matter what kind of lock or cage I put on it, they would break and remove within a day or 2 of a new one being installed. So I got a new thermostat with a remote sensor and installed it in my office with the remote sensor near where the old T-stat was, and I left the old T-stat in place with low voltage power so that it would appear to function. Then I let them change the temp on the old T-stat all they wanted while I programmed the real one in my office to our building standards. Poof. Just like that, the complaints were reduced by 90%.